So let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll see how we get on with a side-by-side comparison of using Perplexity with and without DeepSeek. Okay, so we've got split screen side by side. On the left-hand side, you can see the Pro version showing, and you'll see if you look at the drop-down next to it that we can use the Pro search, or we can select reasoning with O1 or reasoning with R1, which is the new DeepSeek model. As you can see, it's hosted in the US, so there's no data going backwards and forwards to China. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the normal Pro search on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, put in the reasoning with R1. What I'm going to use as an example today is the RNS release from Fresnillo, the silver and gold miner. We'll load the PDF in and we'll attach it so that we give both sides this piece of information. And then the first thing I'm going to do is make sure on the focus that we're looking at the web, and we'll do the same on both sides. So I'll just put in, please analyze the attached PDF and suggest whether or not Fresnillo is a good investment. And I'll then copy that prompt and drop that in on the right hand side, which has got the DeepSeek, and ask the same thing, and it'll be a few seconds behind, but it's the quality of the output that I'm interested in. And you can see there's various aspects coming back on the left hand side, positive aspects, challenges and concerns, conclusion, and on the right hand side you can see the reasoning with R1 being split out. And what's interesting is that on the left hand side you've got all the sources marks you can see here, which basically referring just to the PDF I've uploaded, which I asked it to do, but I also asked it to consider whether it's a good investment, which does mean putting it in the context of the background of the company. And on the right hand side we've got the answer coming out of DeepSeek version of Perplexity. It's still working. Left hand side is finished. It's going into this question in quite some detail, and it's giving a structured analysis, as you can see, with operational performance, silver production, gold production by products, financial highlights, revenue growth expected from higher metal prices. Now that's interesting. It's suggesting revenue growth of 25 to 35% year on year. Now that is really useful information because the results are not out yet. Let's just see what it says on the left-hand side. Strong financial performance, experienced significant increases in realized prices for gold compared to 2023. Expected to result in a 25 to 35% increases in revenues. That's again for the full year 24, which of course is just finished. So it's got both have produced the same information by the look of it. See, strong cash position, fairly similar. So it's picking that by the report that I uploaded. So it's done a good job of summarizing that. Recommendation, bull case, leverage to rising precious metal prices, operational turnaround potential through cost control, strong free cash flow generation. Let's just see. The left-hand side says mixed investment case. Company has demonstrated strong financial performance, exceeded production targets for gold, maintains a solid cash position, concerns about future production levels, potential asset valuation issues, and tax rate fluctuations. It says that Fresnillo could be a potentially good investment if you have a higher risk tolerance and believe in the long-term prospects of precious metals. Strong financial position, ability to generate cash flow, positive indicators. As with any investment decision, advisor will conduct further research. And on the right-hand side, it's suggesting it's buy for metal price bulls, requires monitoring of reserve replenishment and 2025 guidance achievement. The 35% revenue growth projection and operational leverage to silver prices above $23 an ounce justify consideration, although conservative investors might await Q1 2025 operational updates. One of the strong points about Perplexity is that it provides supplementary follow-up questions. Of course, you don't get that with a normal Google search. Yes, they're the same both sides. How does Fresnillo's performance compare to competitors? They look to be pretty much the same questions. And let's just see how they set out the key financial metrics side by side, whether they're both the same. And the left-hand side's got quite a quick answer. It gives you gold production, average realized prices, revenue increase, gross profit, operating profit, that's from continuing operations, free cash flow, cash and cash equivalents, adjusted production costs, strong performance. And the right-hand side, it's doing its reasoning, and you could see that the reasons were coming up in front of us as it was going through. It's now gone through projected increase, profitability surge, suggesting 135% increase in gross profit, 500% increase in operating profit. Let's just see if that was reflected. Yeah, it is reflected on the left-hand side. I prefer the presentation on the right-hand side. It's easier to understand. Hidden in the text here, profit from continuing operations expected to rise to a range of 930 to 950. Same figures. Tax rate 50% in 2024 due to Mexican devaluation impacts on the tax calculations, and got production cost profile, strong leverage to prices. It's just slightly different format, both producing reasonable output. The difference was in the process, I think. And so there we go. Interesting comparison. And of course, although I've picked a particular company to look at, do remind you to make your own mind up. I remind you, of course, to make your own mind up about Fresnillo. All I've done here is use today's RNS announcement from the London Stock Exchange as an example of how you can use that to feed into Perplexity and analyze the results in the context of the company and get a very quick insight into what are basically quite complicated calculations. But if the calculations are carried out, it gives you better information to make informed decisions, which after all is what we all want as DIY investors. Very interesting comparison. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.